Today on PTL, we tap the pros comms for mic check, reveal the top 5 Penta-worthy plays, and break down Shen's new ninja kit in a league of learning. Stand united! PrimeTime League starts right now!
Matic, Knight ticks him, but the tower shot! Oh,
the Nexus will go down just after 29 minutes, and Immortals still cannot be stopped.
And Gamers 2 take the game over Fnatic.
Hello and welcome to PrimeTime League, the nexus of LOL esports information and entertainment. I am Rivington Bislin III, alongside the man who needs no introduction,
David Phreak Turley. Now,
you didn't need an introduction.
Yeah, but I was like saying my name, Rivington Bislin III.
I knew this.
I am David Phreak Turley. Now, before we start, though, I gotta ask you gonna tell us about the cow to the face thing?
Boom! Right in the face! Straight to the kisser. Matt goes down. You ever taken a cow to the kisser, Toby?
Not, thankfully.
It's a painful thing.
What happened, Riv? This is like an interesting story. I want to hear more. Have you experienced this? Did cow tipping go wrong?
Another day, Coach.
Okay.
Another day.
Fine.
So is today that day?
No, today is not the day. But I do want to talk about a couple champions who will be taking to the Rift this weekend. Both reworked Shen and debugged Kindred have received reprieve from Champion Purgatory and will be available to play in the European and North American leagues this weekend. That is some fantastic news, though. I'm sure we can all smile about that and get these terrible fantasies out of our heads. And, well, we have to wait until next week to check out what the pros have accomplished with the Ninja's new kit. We can listen in on their best sound bites from last week right now in this edition of Mic Check.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys.
Let's go, guys.
When you first pick Alistair for Austin Gate U,
You know the game is over.
don't let me down, man.
I won't miss a combo. Combo 3, 2, 1. Combo now.
Nice!
Nice.
You're gonna go out to Turtle. Turtle?
Shit, dude.
Yeah, you gotta do it like you mean it, dude.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh. No. Oh, assist. Turtle, stop it.
Stop it, Turtle.
Kill Adrian.
What happened?
Oh, get him.
Kill Adrian, kill Adrian.
Yes.
Maybe try not to get first blood today, guys. Oh, he just tilted us now.
I can't wait to get a new jungler. I want a new jungler.
Don't fall to their level.
Look at Lee. I am. Can you kill him? Nice. More P12. P12.
I don't know where there's a support is.
He's gonna flash. Okay, I got him.
We're gonna zoom in on you right after the feature's over. They always do that when they do a feature on a player.
Do it, do it, do it. Everybody look at Dardock.
Oh, are you a name? This is superstar?
No. Oh, superstar.
I'm going over the wall.
I get PF.
Okay, he's gonna try freeze it.
Stun. He's knocked up. Backing off turret.
Nice.
Nice.
Holy shit! By the way, is it normal that in-game we hear them screaming Steve?
Yeah, it is.
Ah, okay.
Can you try and not pull the camera on Steve all the time?
Yeah, please, please tell them, please. Oh my god. We want to be famous as well, you know?
Go, 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 go!
Nice! Go nice! Go, push me. Can we end? Yeah, try.
We can end and GG.
Calm down.
Dive, go.
No, perfect game. Okay, don't die.
Is it Turtle? Do we cheese him?
Turtle's on
Turtle is not on their team, dude.
Oh shit. John on ulti.
Careful. Keep poking.
I can go. I flash.
I'm ulti. I'm near target.
Corky. Back. Okay.
They're chalk.
Don't go too fast. Bomb shot, nice. Good time. Okay, let's go. Nice. Reset burn after this. Finish it. End the game.
Good job. Nice. Nice one.
I know it's hard to believe, but we're already a third of the way through the NALCS spring split. And that first third of the split has completely belonged to Immortals. They are dominating at 6-0 after last weekend's matches, and it's now been 321 days since Huni and Rainover have even lost a regular season game. Almost a year. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, defending champs Counterlogic Gaming are currently tied for second, 2 games back from first, but they're hoping to make up some ground in this weekend's NALCS match of the week. And so to break down that matchup, I'd like to welcome Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler to the show.
Hello, my friend.
Hello. Ah, he landed a fist bump. Already I like you more than Jat. How you doing?
Perfect. I'm doing really well. And I'm super excited for this matchup as well because CLG are a contender to try and slow down Immortals. They're second place, as you said, defending champions, but Immortals have just looked so dominant this split. Even though we're only 1/3 of the way through, people are already comparing them to some of the greatest teams the LCS has ever seen.
Well, right, and the two I think we sort of compare are Summer 2013 Cloud9, 25-3, and Summer 2015 Fnatic, who went 18-0. And you compare the 3 teams, and Immortals looks favorable.
It looks so good for them. I mean, as we said, we're only 1/3 of the way through, but already the KDA that they post is outstanding. A perfect 10 for Immortals. Also, the time in which they take to dispatch their first 6 opponents was so short. Only 27-48 there for the average. Now, people are going to say, oh, it's a new season. It's supposed to be shorter than average game times. But this is way shorter than the average time has gone down. They've had 2 sub-20-minute wins already. And the way that they take out lower-ranked teams is just so efficient.
Yeah.
They don't really waste any time.
Yeah, and it's incredible, too, because you could even compare some of this because, like, look, Huni and Rainover were on the Fnatic team as well, and yet this incarnation with them is, like, doing even better. As you mentioned, the early game is just absolutely ridiculous. They crush from minute 1 in these matches.
Yeah, it's funny that in comparing, all-time LCS greatest teams, Huni and Rainover are on 2 of these. But also, it's funny how the game itself actually changes from season to season, so it's kind of hard to compare teams that played at different times. But already, Immortals, they're really stacking up to be one of the greatest.
Okay, so let's talk about then, if they're stacking up to be one of the greatest, who can dethrone them potentially? Counterlogic Gaming are a very good team, especially when we see them like in their lane swaps, for example. They really have an edge there, at least.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point to bring up because we already know Fnatic, not only did they start 6-0, they finished 18-0. So Immortals do have a ways to go. CLG are standing in their way. And one of the big things that could stop them is CLG are going to have to work around this Smithy versus Rainover deal here because Smithy is a little bit outmatched, especially as far as the early statistics go. Rainover has much better numbers. Obviously, Immortals have been winning a bunch of games, but the biggest and most scary stat for me is the first blood percentage. Rainover has been a part of 100% of the first bloods of Immortals games, and that's not to say he was ever the recipient of the first blood. He was the one who actually got the kills for the team, whereas Smithy is the last ranked jungler in the North American LCS. He is tied down there at the bottom, 17% of first bloods for CLG.
1 out of their 6 games.
So that means that the lane swap is imperative for CLG to pull off. If they want to try and slow down Immortals, they have to slow down this early game. Try and lane swap to get Rainover exposed, visualize where's Rainover. We can see him. He's at a turret, and try and slow down that early game. Plus, CLG have been, for years, one of the best lane swapping teams in North America. So that would play right into their style. Try and get an early lead for Darshan. Try and get him to split push. But really, the biggest hurdle is going to be getting through that early game, I think.
All right, so hurdles are there, but prediction time. Who's taking it?
I'm going to have to predict Immortals just because they're looking so strong. But as I said, I think CLG are going to try and get off that lane swap. And the other big thing, I think, is again, try and get Smithy on a Cinder Hulk jungler because Darshan's going to play one of those split-pushing damage carries of the top lane. They need some crowd control and tank stats to come from that jungle. So maybe Immortals will try and target that in the pick bans phase.
All right, we'll see if that happens. Thank you very much, Kobe. No faith, sadly, and Immortals may be the favorite here. Either way, guys, it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be Saturday's match at 2 p.m., which will be the 3rd match of the day on Saturday. Don't miss it.
Speaking of Game of the Week, Tuesday we tweeted out an extreme close-up of one of the LCS's newest pros and asked you to guess whose eyebrow you were peeping. Jeepers Creepers, that forehead caterpillar belongs to none other than CLG's AD carry Stixay. But eyebrows like that don't just happen. Showing what a true support is, Aframu and Darshan indeed helped their AD carry get his facial hair up to CLG standards by suggesting a brow specialist. Look at that. This weekend, while you are watching the match of the week between CLG and the Immortals, be sure to check out Stixay's eyebrows. To quote Claky D, they're on fleek. Now, based on your responses to know the pro, LCS fans and players like Forgiven have their fellow pros' eyebrows on lockdown. But do you know your favorite pros' names? I'm not talking about summoner names. I mean the other ones their mamas gave them. Phreak took to the street to find out if Bjergsen, by another name, is just as sweet as Soren.
Say my name, say my name. But of course, here we actually are running game, League of Legends to be specific. And the thing is, not every LCS fan knows their favorite pro player by their real names. Did you know that Soren Bjerg is actually Bjergsen? Let's see who does. If it said David Turley, you'd say...
Don't know that one.
Zachary Black?
Oh, Aframu.
Okay, good. Alberto Rengifo.
Crumbs.
Nice. Adrian Ma. I'll give you a hint. His screen name is Adrian, and his name is Adrian Ma.
Is it Adrian?
Yes. Guangjin Che. He's not on CLG. He's won Worlds before. He's an AD carry. Hangs out with Winnie the Pooh sometimes.
Piglet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason Tran.
Jason Tran, Wild Turtle.
Darshan Ubiyaha.
Was Zion Spartan, now Darshan.
All right, I'll give you an easy one. Good job.
Okay.
Soren Bjerg.
Bjergsen.
Nice. Guangjin Che. Nikolai Jensen.
Still no.
What? This one you'll get, I promise. If you don't, I feel sorry for you.
Okay.
Okay. Real name is Hai Lam.
Oh, hi.
Oh, he got one! Enrique Cedinho Martinez.
Expepe?
Expeke.
We're both expecting now.
Oh, no. Yiliang Peng. And finally, Guangjin Che.
Welcome to the EU side of PTL. I am sadly joined by Crepo, but I will accept I have to sometimes carry him. He actually dropped an F-bomb last week.
Shame, shame, shame.
And I'm proud because it's been my baby, and now I'm like, kind of like I'm passing it on to the new guy, and he can pick it up and become a real star.
I mean, I have always looked up to you, Deficio, mostly literally, not to your casting. So I'm aspiring to be more like Martin, and it's just one step in a long, long journey forwards.
Don't think you will grow any taller anytime soon.
Have to get better at casting then. That's the only thing I can improve.
Well, at least you have something. Another team who's trying to improve is Rocket. Right now, they made an AD carry change. Safi is out, Taps is in. Taps has obviously been around since almost forever. We can say I didn't really like his performance last year, so I don't know what to expect from Taps coming into this season. But he should be better than what Safi has been showing so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. While Tabs may have left a bit of a sour taste in many people's mouth, he can't be that much worse than Saphir. We have to be honest. Lackluster performance overall, combined with the fact that Rockhead is now forced to play with Extinct in the support role, who's very inexperienced. I think it's a good change, bringing in Tabs, who not only from a mechanical point of view should be better, but he also brings a little bit of that macro element. He has more shot calling. He has more experience in just the rotations, etc. From playing with him too. He's a very big picture type of player.
I think that's the key point with Taps. I'm not expecting him to go in and become like a top 80 carry by any means. Rocket basically just needs someone who can complement Betsy, who's been doing really well, and then maybe they can start winning some late game team fights. We need to see more still from Rocket as a team, in my opinion, before we can really say they're out of the slump.
Yeah, because they definitely need to get better if they want to challenge teams like H2K or Vitality. And that was actually the next topic here. Deficio, you made the comparison once. Yeah, very smoothless transition here. That Vitality is actually like Fnatic. That's what you said. Fnatic equals Vitality.
Almost. I said that coming into this split, I was looking at the Vitality lineup, and I could see the playstyle they would be using would be close to what Fnatic showed last year, and I think we are seeing that. You know, it's a lot of Capo Shot and Shook together in the early game. You have Kising and Yanin, who's playing 2v2 very often, doesn't really get any help, and Nuclear just farms on his own in the mid lane. I just wouldn't say we see the same crisp synergy, coordination we saw from Fnatic in Summer Split. But if you look back to Spring Split Fnatic, I mean, it's somewhat the same. You know, good individual players, carry top laner who's trying to make it work. But then they sometimes drop the ball when we look at the big picture, you know, the macro picture.
Yeah, that is something a lot of people forget. We have this very, very clean identity of Fnatic in summer by the fact that they went 18-0, but they even had some struggling matches in that summer split, and by no means was that the same Fnatic that we saw in spring, because spring was sloppy. They were still building the lineup up, and if you compare that to Vitality, yeah, they have the same elements. I mean, the 2v2 lane that plays kind of for the laning phase trades a little bit more on the side of Kasing and Hjarnan, but it's very isolated. But then if you look where Shook spends the most of the time, around the top laner, the same with Reignover and Huni pretty much.
The thing is, we talk about, you know, Vitality and Fnatic, and we kind of make excuses for these teams because of the new rosters, new lineups coming in. There's still a team that we obviously talk a lot about in Origin, who doesn't really have that excuse by just making one change. They've kind of admitted, you know, we didn't prepare properly coming into this. We took too long of a break. They're playing G2 this week. Obviously, our match of the week as well, because it's like really, really big deal for both teams here. G2 is trying to show to everyone they are a legit top team in Europe, and Origin is trying to show they're out of this slump and they want to like keep climbing further up. Better performance from Origin this week. Honestly, still not enough.
They solved one problem. So coming into week 3 of the LCS, we highlighted 2 main issues with Origin. The fact that they weren't working together as a team, and that Power of Evil wasn't performing very well. But at least Power of Evil stopped dying. He went deathless in week 3. So coming into week 4, he's more of a stable player. But the framework still needs to improve. Origin as a team is still not working together perfectly.
Yeah, there's too many miscommunications, missed opportunities, honestly, from this team. G2, on the other hand, I think we see the synergy between the players. They're definitely on the same page. They like to play the same kind of League of Legends, extremely aggressive, you know, very fast-paced.
Too aggressive sometimes.
Sometimes too aggressive, you know, not respecting double teleport or what the other team could do potentially. But when you have a player like Perkz in the mid lane, Emperor and Hybrid doing well in the bottom lane, we see some very good performances from these guys. And I'm honestly looking at G2 taking this game, because I don't think Origin is out of the slump, and I think G2 will be able to snowball this game from early to mid game. But I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it becomes one of these nail-biters where potentially there could be a lot of throws back and forth, you know, some missed opportunities here and there, a bad Baron call, we've seen it already, that could then completely turn the game around.
Yeah, you think G2's going to win? I think Origin's actually going to take it, because if you look at it, they have the man, they have the carry, they have Sven spearheading it. But then if you look at the top lane, Soaz, you know, sure, he might have the worst CS at 10 minutes, at 20 minutes. He may be dying the most in a European LCS, except for Adam, who has 1 death more. But we can't forget that Soaz, when you put him in the corner, he will rain down upon you with the fury of 1,000 baguettes. And that's it for us. F it, we're out.
Due to popular demand, I am back with your PTL Fantasy Minute. And let's start right away with the Week 4 studs, which are players that we predict will do well in Week 4 of the LCS. We're going to start with 2 Fnatic players. We're going to start with their top laner, Gamsu. He's up against Rocket and Giants. And even though Gamsu himself hasn't done amazingly, Giants give up 16 points per game, and Rocket give up 18 points per game to enemy top laners. Looking at a mid-30s prediction, which is pretty solid for a top laner. He's not started much. He's probably available. You might want to pick him up if you need a better top laner. Next up, Noxiac on support. Again, against Giants, 16 points per game. Rocket, 17 points per game to enemy supports. Mid-30s again for him. Also, a really good scoreline for a support. Maybe worth thinking about picking him up for this week's games. Final player to talk about here on the good side is Shifter. Even though weeks 2 and 3 weren't great for him, he's up against Echo Fox and Team Liquid. Echo Fox, with their subs, is probably the worst team in the LCS, which means lots of kills, lots of points. And Team Liquid plays like the longest games in the entire LCS. Long games means lots of points, means lots of kills, which are very good things for Shifter specifically. Let's shift gears, talk about the duds, players that we forecast to do poorly next week. First up, let's talk about the Vitality bottom lane of Hjarnan and Kasing. They are very good players. You think when Fantasy started, pick up Vitality, they're a good team, but their points are actually not looking very good. It's actually pretty bleak, and especially when they have tough schedules, because when they lose, it's terrible. Hjarnan gets like 4 points per loss, which is ridiculously low, and if these guys lose games, you might see more of the same. Despite more than half you having these guys, they're actually not looking too good right now in fantasy. The final player to talk about as a dud is Rocket's former AD carry, Saphir. He has been benched. He's been replaced by Tabs, and Tabs is very good, so Saphir's probably not coming back for the rest of the split here. If you need a new AD carry, maybe go get Tabs, but again, he is on Rocket. Rocket's not doing super well. If you think it's going to be a turnaround with Tabs, then maybe you go for it, but again, still a risk.
Hello everybody, Jat here with another episode of League of Learning. This week I wanted to talk about a recently relaunched champion who will be playable in the LCS this week, and that will be Shen. It has been changed a little bit. I wanted to go over some of the main differences in the playstyle. His trading will have gone up in potential, but it no longer has sustain. Q used to be able to heal you when you put it on minions. That is no longer the case, but because of his Spirit Blade, it can now grant him a shield and empowered auto attack. So it's a stronger trade, but you cannot heal if you take a bad trade. His W used to be a self-shield on himself. Now, it blocks auto attacks within his own. So it's situationally more powerful, but overall less generically good, because a shield is about as generically good as you can get. Also, he has more energy, his spells are more expensive, and he has more energy generation. And late game, CDR can be fairly beneficial. And the bread and butter of the kit, the taunt and the ultimate, are slightly different because the taunt doesn't do damage reduction, but the gameplay is generally retained. As far as what type of masteries we'll be seeing for Shen in the LCS, or even if you want to play him in solo queue, I don't think you can really go wrong with either of these trees. Top lane, the Keystone Mastery is going to be Grasp of the Undying because you trade so much and because you need the sustain. Whereas in the jungle, I think you're better off taking Strength of Ages because it's very easy to stack that up to full and get a cheap 300 extra health, which can increase your tankiness, which you're going to need since you're in the jungle and have slightly lower gold income than a top laner. So I really like these mastery trees. As far as runes, again, here are some options if you don't own all of these runes, and we could still see some variation within the LCS. My personal favorite rune page for him that I think we'll see the most of would be attack speed marks, scaling health seals, cooldown reduction per level on glyphs, and then armor on your quintessences for good late game health scaling as well as some early armor in the jungle. And attack speed is very critical for Shen's kit, so I think that's a good mix of runes for him. Also, as far as core items go, I think the Titanic Hydra is actually very important on this Shen. He needs it for his damage. It's also a nice way of getting another auto attack down because getting all 3 hits off on your Q is incredibly important for late game energy regeneration, and Titanic Hydra can help with that. Cinderhulk and Sunfire Cape would remain core items, and then you can really mix and match whatever situational items you would want, with Dead Man's Plate probably being the best of the situational items, and then the rest of them just mix and match depending on the matchup, armor or MR, or whatever you need. Now I want to talk about how to gank on Shen, because it's very important that you get your Keyblade to pass through the enemy, since you get bonus attack speed and it increases your damage. And that only happens by pressing Q before your movement ability. Whether it's before the taunt or before flash, you can get the pass through to get that extra damage. So that will show kind of the good Shens that are comfortable with the champion how to do it. Now I want to talk about some champion synergies. Top Shen is good with a set of junglers, typically the ones that can find ways into squishy targets or deep into fights. Evelynn is probably my favorite synergy since she gets to be invisible, and then all of a sudden, there's 2 people behind their team, super powerful. Also, Jungle Shen would be good with other top laners who can get in, but kind of more so the ones that might be a little bit squishy, since that gives them more time to do the most damage, and they can still get that backline access. But especially with the new Shen, who needs to stick for auto attacks to regain his energy and reuse his spells, he will be very weak against heavy disengage, heavy kiting, and people who can just knock him clean out of the fight like Poppy. So Lulu, Janna, Morgana, Alistar, all included in things that will be pretty bad for Shen to play against and might limit his competitive viability depending on how well teams figure out how to work around it. So that will do it for the new Shen in League of Learning, and I hope you learned something.
Last week, I was a little rough on everyone, but you know what? Tough love prevailed because now we have a ton of winners, and that feels wonderful. Last week, we asked which of the 6 unbeaten teams would be the first to lose a match among the premier regions. And the funny thing is, by the time we asked the question, it had already happened. Yep. We gave you the answers. You're welcome. Congratulations. The LRS's Extreme Gamers had already been de-perfected by Machi on Wednesday, and several of you got it right, so congratulations. But seeing as that's literally us giving you the answer to the test, we wanted to also mention those who guessed the team that lost after we aired the episode, which was Royal Never Give Up, as they were kind of the real answer to the question because they were actually undefeated. That means everyone wins, even LGD. And yes, LGD even won last week, but it also means we have a bunch of new members to induct into the Hall of Fame. 4 of you guessed Royal Never Give Up and got the average game time right by using amazing powers of deduction. Even Sherlock is impressed. And then there's 5 more who also get a place in the Hall by using a calculator and VODs because they guessed the average game time by just doing simple multiplication or division. Congratulations, you really, really earned it. That said, congrats to all of our winners and Hall of Fame inductees. Now let's see if we can get some more. This week, we want you to tell us how many times will the new Shen be played in the LCS this week. That is across all 4 days of the European and North American LCS. For a shot at the Hall of Fame, also tell us what his cumulative KDA will be for Shen during week 4. I'm going to say 4 games and a 4 KDA. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. I'm going to send your answer to @LOLesports. Use the hashtag PTL. And unless you're Marty McFly, this question should be a little more difficult for all you Extreme Gamers fans.
Now it's time for PTL's magical journey through the top plays of the week, or as Jen Air's pilot can now call it, the Penta.
Coming in at number 5, Jen Air Green Wings pilot picks up the Penta kill.
Dead. Trace now right in the middle. Double kill for Kalista. Triple kill for Kalista. Quadra kill for Kalista.
Will it be the Penta?
Is it going to be the Penta here from Pilot? Pilot going to try and hop through this minion wave. Exhaust goes down, and there's the gold. The Zonias. Will he finish it? Penta for Pilot.
At number 4, Vitality's Nuke Duck outplays the Giants' ex-Peppy in this level 1 duel.
Godfrey moving in onto Nuke Duck. Nuke Duck has a wave coming, so he can juke into the minion wave. So gets bound. Dark Binding hits. Peppy's going forward. Nuke Duck's trying to get away, holding onto that exhaust. It may not matter. Ignite ticks him, but the tower shot! Nuke Duck survives! Holy! Let's see this again. So, good roll. They get Nuke Duck before he gets to the minions. That's good. Is Godfrey running Thunderlords here? Let's see. That's one Thunderlords proc. I haven't seen a second one. So I think right now, Ignite gets applied. If Peppy doesn't flash, Nuke Duck dies. I am at a loss for words.
Popping in at number 3, Splice's Senkux instantly makes all of the Giants' life bars disappear as he picks up the Quadra kill.
But Songyaka goes forward as Audrey as going to help out for the additional kill. Whoa! Triple into Quadra kill for Senkux.
Let's watch. Distortion, ulti, oof. Every LeBlanc player's dream right there.
What a fantastic performance.
At number 2, Snake ZZR lands an amazing prediction cocoon onto QG's Uzi.
There's good damage there onto Ella. And Flandre looking in for it. You can see now ZZR.
Wow.
Oh my god, he outplays Uzi with the cocoon. And first blood is going to go to ZZR.
That was ridiculous from ZZR. The flash cocoon actually predicted Uzi to use his E.
And launching into number 1, EM Fire's Hippo bites off more than he can chew as he catches a ride with SKT's Duke.
Oh, Duke may not win this one. In fact, he's going to get flash. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know that either. He's like, take me away from here, Tom Kench.
Remember, if you see something, say something. Hit us up at LOLesports, hashtag the Penta to submit the savage plays you think should be in our next Penta. Before we close out this special incline edition of PTL, did you know that Phreak's facts should always be verified before sharing with friends? It's true. You'll see what I mean in this week's last hit.
Did you know? GBM is an initialism for godlike, blindfolded mid laner.
He's unable to dodge the bomb skill shots, and it leads to a powerful...
Oh, that's going to be real bad. That's Bjergsen this time. Knocked up, ping-ponged once again.
Did you know? Soaz leads a double life as a member of the Arizona House of Representatives. And did you know that H2K set an LCS record for most post-game hugs? This is Phreak, and now you know.
I'm just throwing the cow.
Oh, no.